We're all going to run into the problems. We're all going to run into them. So do you have a plan for how you handle them? That's really what he's saying. We're all going to face adversity. We're all going to face problems and challenges, especially those of us that are on our road to get to where we want to go in life. Right? You're on these calls because you want to grow, you want to get to your ideal life, you want to design a life you don't need a break from. All these things is where you're headed. So you have to know that problems are going to come up. Challenges are going to come up. The question is, how do you handle them? Right? If we give some of the stuff that Ed was talking about, I really want you to take in. If you are spending your energy on the problem and not on the solution, your problem will grow. Whatever we give energy to grows. Whatever we focus on, we get more of. That is a principle. You got to understand whatever your mind gives more focus to or more energy to, you will see it more in your life. You will get more of it. So by focusing on your problems, by focusing on the challenge, by focus on the adversity, the thing that you don't want, you actually get more of it in your life. You get more of the fear, you get more of the stress, you get more of it if you focus on it. So the key is to learn how to focus on the solution. Okay, we know the problem exists, got it. Immediately, what's the solution? Okay, I got it. This is the problem. I've identified it. Okay, what do we do to get through it? This is something I've learned to do very well, and I teach some of you how to do it. I've had phone calls and conversations with you guys individually where that's what the process is. You're telling me, man, I got so much on my mind. There's a bunch happening. And what do we do? Hey, what's the problem? List them out for me. And normally, when we got 1,000 things, it's really like 3 things. And so, if we can just identify and you can verbalize, hey, it's these 3 things, then we can attack and say, okay, well, what's the solution? What's the solution to number one? What do we need to do? What's the solution to number two? Now we have clarity. Now we can spend our energy on getting the solution than just telling people the problem. And that's something that a lot of people fall into. A lot of your friends, family, coworkers, middle class people around, they fall into constantly talking about the problem. You tell me the problem one time, I got it. We're going to spend the rest of the time talking about the solution. Look at that in your life. Think about that in your life. How often are you focused on the issue, the problem, the challenge? And how often are you focused on the solution? How often are you talking about the events that led up to the reason why you're in the position you're in, or you're upset, or whatever the case is, versus how do we get out of this? What's the solution? How do I figure that out? So that's the first thing to understand, right? Your problems need energy. And if you give them more energy, then you'll get more of them. If you give the energy to the solution, you'll get more of the solution side of things. In our text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, it says champions are decisive. Champions make a decision. You ever come across people that don't make decisions? Like, just they'll say, like, let me think about it. I'll get back to you on that. Let me chill out. Like, and then 3 weeks go by and they never made a decision. It's the opposite of world-class mindset. It's the opposite of being a champion. It's the opposite of living your ideal life. There are traits, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard me say this over and over again. There are traits of successful people, traits and habits. The best part about what we do is because you can adopt these traits and habits. If you don't have them now, that's okay. You learn them and then you practice them, and then you can be successful in any area of your life because it's all the same stuff. And one of these things is the ability to make a decision. You show me any great company, you show me any great family that has a leader in the front, that has leaders in the front of it, they're decisive. They make a decision, good, bad, and different, right or wrong. This is what we're doing, and this is the direction we're going. And then we go. And if we get halfway down to our destination, we're like, I don't think this was the right direction. Guess what we do? We make another decision to do something different. But indecision is also a decision. Like not making a decision, procrastinating, waddling in it, not actually giving it energy and saying, this is the direction I'm going to go. That also is a decision. And a lot of people have that indecisiveness. And we got to break that if we want to get to our ideal life. Here's what it says in the text. It says, while average performers are timid and lack confidence in their own judgment, champions are known for their ability to make decisions, especially under pressure. Let me just say that sentence again, right? While average performers are timid and lack confidence in their own judgment, because that's what indecisiveness is. It's a lack of confidence in your own judgment. At some point in your life, someone told you that you didn't have the right judgment in a certain area. Or maybe you stop trusting yourself. You know where we see this happen a bunch? With money. You know, we're in the money business, right? So we see that a bunch with money. At some point, people lack the confidence in their own financial judgment. So they don't feel capable of managing their money properly out of one account. So what do? They get 6 bank accounts because they don't trust their judgment that they might spend all the money and not have it for their bills. So then they have to move it, right? Lack of confidence happens a bunch. Anyway, it says here the difference is courage and confidence. Even the best leaders are uncertain about their decisions in an environment of unprecedented change. The difference is their willingness to make a decision and take full responsibility for the outcome. Amateur performers habitually play not to lose and procrastinate because they fear making a mistake. The great ones know mistakes will be made and can be corrected. Their willingness to assume full responsibility for the decisions eliminates the need to gather more input than is absolutely necessary. Developing a sound decision-making process while understanding every decision is somewhat a gamble is the foundation, while understanding every decision is somewhat a gamble, is the foundation of superior leadership. Professional performers can lead people and organizations effectively under such high pressure constraints because they possess the self-trust necessary to make decisions without fear. Generally speaking, the higher the leadership position, the greater, the deeper the leader's self-trust must be. Courage, self-trust, and the willingness to assume full responsibility for the outcomes of their decisions are mandatory traits of competent and effective leaders. Do you trust yourself to make the proper decision? Do you trust yourself to whatever decision you make that you know you can back it up, that you know it's going to end well, that you know that you can make things happen? Or do you lack that confidence? It's okay if you lack that confidence, but we got to build it. We got to build the confidence to trust our judgment so that you can make decisions quickly, on the fly. You don't need weeks and weeks and weeks. You heard Ed Mylett say he believes 85% of your decisions should be made immediately. Get the problem, understand a couple of the variables, make a decision, and then move towards that decision. We don't have to sleep on it. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to let it, right, fester. We make a decision. Some people talk about corporate America, right, and CEOs and leaders and big corporations that get paid a whole bunch of money. And there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, they shouldn't get paid all that amount of money. You know why they get paid? They get paid to lead. They get paid to make tough decisions quickly and then be unashamed about how the direction that they're headed in. That's what they get paid to do. Corporate CEOs and big leaders, they get paid to say, you know what, this is the way we're going. Half of the people are like, I don't like that idea. It doesn't matter. I'm the leader. This is the direction we're going. We're decisive. We get halfway down the path and we realize that's not the best way. We'll say, okay, let's change course. Let's change direction. But leaders that are decisive, that are build this trait in them, they're not fearing their decision. They're not scared of the decision they make. They're not scared of the outcomes of what may happen because of the decision. We have to understand that. It says here, amateur performers habitually play not to lose and procrastinate because they fear making a mistake. If you are the leader of an organization, if you are the head of something, you cannot run that organization with fear of playing not to lose, of having a fear of making a mistake. You have to be willing to say, you know what? I trust my decision making. I trust my intuition. I trust my judgment. I've seen this before, or maybe I haven't seen this before, but this is what I believe is the right way to go. And I'm going to go that direction. Courage and confidence. If there's two things that you should be focused on building within yourself currently, right now, is more courage and more confidence to get to the life you want, to get to the life you want, to get to the place where you're financially free, where you have great relationships, great health, spend time the way you want to, money is not an option, all the stuff that you want. You have to develop more courage and more confidence. That old saying, it takes money to make money, it does not. It takes courage to make money. It takes courage to make money. The people that make money, they have courage. They have courage to step out of their comfort zone. They have courage to learn a new skill set. They have courage to try something that's new. They have courage to go, be decisive, make a decision, and do what they said they're going to do. It takes courage to do that. That's not book smarts, right? That's not information. That is built in. That's internal. You have the courage to face the giant in front of you, to face, right, the fears in front of you. Courage. Second thing is confidence. How confident are you in yourself? How confident are you in your abilities? How confident are you in your skill sets, in your communication ability? Like, how confident are you? If you have a combination of those two things, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you'll become more decisive. You'll make decisions quicker. You'll lead more effectively. You'll lead your family more effectively. Not all of you are in a business environment. I know most of you are, but not all of you are in a business environment. What about your family environment? Who takes the lead? Do your kids lead, or do you lead as a parent? How do you lead? Do you make decisive decisions? Like, do you make decisions quickly? Hey, this is what we're going to do. I don't like that decision. That's okay. That's what we're doing. We don't like, right? We go down the path. If something changes, we change course. But are you that decisive? It's a trait, ladies and gentlemen. It's a habit. You heard it in my Let's Say. You have to have the habit of making a decision. He said this is how he coaches his athletes and his entertainers and the politicians. He gets them to constantly say, make a decision. Make a decision. Choose this way or that way. Who cares if you're not right? Who cares if you make a mistake? Go down the path and be like, oh, that wasn't the right way. Let's go this way. But can you make a decision? I come across so many people that just don't make a decision. They need weeks upon weeks upon weeks to make a decision to do something. We have to fix this trait if we want to get to our ideal life. That's it. These are the things. These are the things. You hear me say it all the time. Life's a game of millimeters, game of inches. It's really small things. How quickly do you make a decision? Notice this. I want this to be instilled in you, but notice it in the people that you're around. Notice it in the people you choose to interact with. How quickly do they make decisions? How often are they decisive? Are you around people that are leaders that just make decisions that say, hey, don't worry about it, we're going to go this direction? Or are you around people that have to think about it and procrastinate on it and sleep on it and take weeks and weeks and weeks to make simple decisions? I'm not talking the major decisions of your life, right? Obviously, those things, right, you need to take a little bit of time on, but most of the decisions, the things of, right, should I be working at this place? Should I be heading in a different direction? Right? What should my health plan be? Like, how do I handle things in my relationship? Like, basic decisions, got to make quicker. You got to make quicker. It's huge. This quote from Lee Iacocca says, if I had to sum it up in one word, what makes a good manager, I'd say decisiveness. You can use the fanciest computers to gather the numbers, but in the end of the day, you have to set a timetable and act. What makes a great overseer, a manager, a leader? They're decisive. We hear the problem. We don't focus on the problem. We focus on the solution. Make a decision. What did Ed say right after that? He said, flood it with good intention, with good emotion, with certainty to say, I made this decision. Yes, this is going to work. This is where we're going. This is how it's going to play out. You flood yourself with certainty, not with, I make a decision and then, well, maybe, well, what if this happens? Well, let me make sure this. That's not flooding your body with the emotions that's needed to get that off the ground. You make a decision, you then fill it with certainty, and then you take massive action. You take immediate action. You know, the way that you make an actual decision is because you take action. You haven't made a decision towards something if you don't actually take action towards it. If you say right now, I made the decision to get my health in order. I've made the decision to lose weight. I've made the decision to focus on my eating, whatever it is. I've made that decision. You would then take action today by changing what you eat. When people say, I made the decision, but I'm going to start on Monday, you haven't actually made the decision, because a decision is followed up by action. And so if you say, yes, I'm going to change my health, I'm going to get started, I'm getting started right now. Throwing away these cookies and these chips, and right, I'm going in on fruits and vegetables right now. Like, I'm not waiting until Monday. I'm not waiting until the weekend. I'm not waiting until it's convenient, because then it's just an idea. It's just a good thought that you have. It's just a wish. You didn't make a decision. Being decisive and making a decision is followed by action. These are traits of leaders. These are traits of people that want to go after their ideal life. So you gotta learn how to do this. The action step for today says take a decision you've been putting off for a while and decide on a course of action within the next 24 hours. Think of something that you've been putting off. There's a decision that you need to make. Should I do this? Should I do that? Well, if I do this, this might happen. But if I do this, right, there's a decision you've been putting off. Think about that decision and decide on a course of action within the next 24 hours. That's a challenge I have for all of you. There's something you've been putting off. There's a conversation you've been putting off. There's something where you haven't made the proper decision. You haven't made any decision. You're debating between some things. Instead of having that dance and continuing it to cloud up your brain and right fog up your mind, make the decision and then go that direction. And whatever comes from it, comes from it. Whatever the pros or cons are of your decision, guess what? You take ownership of that. You take full responsibility for your decision. It says in here, their willingness to assume full responsibility for their decisions eliminates the need to gather more input than necessary. You don't need more information. You don't need more. You need more courage and more confidence to go do the thing that you said you're going to do. And now you got to make a decision and you got to put some action behind it. You do those things, ladies and gentlemen, your life changes. You start doing these things in all the areas of your life. Make a decision faster. Don't put it off. Do it now. Say, hey, I'm making this decision. I put action behind it. I flood it with some good emotions and good things start to happen. If I go down the path and I realize that's not taking me to where I want to go, guess what? I change course. That's all. I just change. And then we come back around and do it again. But that's what we got to do in order to get to the life that we want. It's too crowded down here at the bottom, y'all. Time to get to the top of this thing. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. You got to get out there and you got to build your courage. You got to build your confidence to go after the life that you want. We only get one life. We only get one of these. We don't come back. Like, this is it. So why not go as hard as possible at the life that you want? Why not build the courage, start changing, start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone so you can become the man or woman God called you to be, so you can live your ideal life. That's what I want for you. That's what we're all on this journey for. We're here to make it happen. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll talk soon. Take care.